A few people have been asking for this before, and I am a massive nerd and would love to show it off. So today I decided I'm going to do a little informal, impromptu setup tour kind of video. If you're here on the Brongle channel for funny stream extra stuff, this might not be the video for you because I'm going to try to be a little bit in-depth about stuff, but I'm sure I will say something funny at some point throughout the video. So we're going to go with that. I will go through everything here, and if it's something that I like, I will probably link it in the description. If it's something that I don't like or don't think you should buy, I won't link it. None of them are going to be affiliate links. I've never set that stuff up, so don't worry about, like, conflict of interest or anything. I'm not making any money from this stuff. Real quick, actually, I'll start with the chair because it's, like, kind of in the way, so I'll just cover that and then we'll get it out of the way. This is the FlexiSpot C7 Max Ergo chair. Got their little logo back there. I received this as part of a sponsorship deal. This video that you're watching is not sponsored, but I did receive this chair from FlexiSpot. Honestly, I really like this chair. It's a really comfortable ergonomic chair. It's got like a footrest and stuff. It's been a pretty cool chair for the setup, so thumbs up for that. And on the topic of FlexiSpot, this is also a FlexiSpot desk from the same sort of sponsorship deal. So I have a sit-stand desk, so I can press that, and then it starts to go up. Hold on, let me hold still so you can actually see it going up. Look at that. So yeah, pretty cool. Something that I never thought I would actually own, and I ended up getting sponsored by FlexiSpot, and I'm very happy about it. So I'll go ahead and put this back to sitting height, and we'll just wait. So anyways, here is the Bringle PC. So I've got this in like April of 2023. I built it myself using an entire month's paycheck from when I used to work as a lot attendant at a car dealership for like 6 months. That's what I was doing before Bringle. So inside we're packing, I'll put this all on the screen also, we're packing an Intel Core i9 13900K, got an EVGA RTX 3080 Ti, 1000 watt power supply in there, 64 gigs of RAM, bunch of Corsair RGB cooling and stuff. And then honestly, this is like kind of the coolest part of the build. Apparently Corsair, for this really like stupidly popular case, this is the 4000D Airflow, I want to say. They make these like different wood grain front panels. So I got a bamboo one to match my desk. Yeah, this thing is like 60% of the cost of the entire case, but I can't say that I'm unhappy with it. It looks kind of sick. I got the little Lego Bowser. He's pretty important. Okay, what next? Let's talk monitors. Let's talk monitors real quick. So this one right here, if you couldn't tell, has absolutely awful viewing angles because it's really old, but this is just a monitor that my dad gave me for free at some point because it's like over 10 years old. And on top of it, I have this little thing right here. So this is a little project I did recently. This is an old camera monitor that I've just had for several years that I wasn't using because it sucks. And so what I did, I already had a power cord for it, so I just plugged it in, plugged HDMI into one more port I had on my graphics card, and using Wallpaper Engine, I just put this this Chrono Trigger background on it. So this is just like a looped video of the title screen. If you can't tell, this is running at like 15 FPS, because if I did any higher, it used a bunch of graphics card power, and I didn't want my power bill to increase, so we're settling with this. It actually looks kind of sick. I like the 15 FPS. I feel like it makes it less distracting and honestly just gives it like kind of a GIF kind of feel. Yeah, there's this big chip in the screen because I dropped this at some point years ago, but it's just like a little extra thing anyway. I drilled it into the side of this monitor with this little mount right here with those screws, so I kind of just crossed my fingers, drilled the holes, and it didn't crack the panel. Let's go. Okay, now for the main monitor, this is what I like play games on during streams and stuff. This is some LG 32-inch something, I don't remember the model name. It's 1440p, 155 hertz, I think, and 32 inches, like I said. And the best part about this monitor is not any of its specs, but the fact that I got it for $50 at a garage sale. It used to have an NVIDIA G-Sync sticker on it, and I saw that sticker and I was like, oh, this thing's probably worth some money. And I asked how much they wanted for it, and they were like, oh yeah, $60. And I was like, okay, I don't technically know what it is. Would you take 50? And they were like, yeah, sure, we'll take 50. So I handed over $50. And then immediately after getting in the car, I looked it up and it was like $300 on eBay. So kind of a score. And then for my other side monitor right here, this is like a 20, maybe a 21 inch, I think, some 1080p HP monitor that I also got at a garage sale for like $10. So in total, The three main screens that I'm like actually using are I paid $60 for, which is like kind of amazing for what I have going on here. And then normally right here is the camera, and I also have an Elgato prompter. I'll insert a video that I can shoot on my phone with the camera actually set up. That's usually there, but I'm using that camera right now, so it can't be there. But yeah, the Elgato prompter I got on like a Black Friday sale, and honestly it's been super nice for some of the like random YouTube stuff I've done, like delivering intros and stuff. So that covers the computer, that covers the monitors and stuff. So let's move on to audio. So audio is the part of this setup that I have put the most time, effort, and maybe money into. I guess the computer probably costs more because it's a computer. But yeah, I like audio equipment. It's kind of fun. So the mic, of course, Shure SM7B. Everybody has one of these. I was gonna get something else to be more unique and have a different looking mic on camera, but after all the research I did, it turns out this just is the best choice, and that's why everyone gets it, so I got one. If you're not making money off YouTube or anything, I would not recommend buying something like this. It's genuinely not worth it, and nobody is going to care. What I would recommend buying, if you're just getting started out, is something like this Shure SM57. So this is a second microphone that I have set up, so I can have two of them. This is mainly for if I have a guest on the stream, like Lou. Lou used this during the tier list stream, and it's not plugged in right now because we don't have enough XLR cables, but that's what that's for, and they honestly match each other pretty good sound-wise. I would say that the SM57 is probably like 90% the sound quality of the 7B, and you can just get this cute little windscreen for it, and it's actually an amazing setup. So this is what I'd recommend if you're getting started. Only get this if you are making enough money off your content to justify it. And also, either of these mics, if you decide to buy them, go for used microphones. I know it seems kind of gross because people like get their spit all over it or whatever, but just buy them, clean them, and then you've saved a bunch of money because these things are stupidly reliable and will never break. This microphone will still be working in 20 years, I guarantee it. So next I'll show off my speakers. These are a more recent addition to the setup because I was using these for my bedroom TV before, but after I moved out from my parents' house, I really wanted to have speakers at my desk because now I'm not living with my parents. I can play audio out loud like a real adult, and these were another thing that I got at a garage sale, funnily enough. These are M Audio MA45s, I want to say. There's something like that. I'll figure it out in editing. But I got these for 35 bucks. They're powered speakers, so you just plug them into the wall and they have enough power. And honestly, they're great. They sound really good. They're really good studio speakers, especially for what I paid for them, so I really don't have any complaints. And now, headphones. I just got these recently. These are Beyerdynamic DT770 Pro X's, the limited edition 100-year anniversary ones. So these replaced my, like, several years old pair of DT770 Pro regulars, not X's, because I had those in what is called the 250 ohm version. I still have them, but Lou is borrowing them right now. But the 250 ohm version really needs an amplifier of some kind to sound good, and I was just using it out of my audio interface, so it really didn't sound that good. And compared to those, these meanwhile are just 48 ohms. I'm not going to get into a big explanation on how ohms work because I only kind of understand it myself, but the really basic way that is not entirely accurate all the time, more ohms means you need more power to drive it, so you would need something like a headphone amplifier, and that's a great segue to my other pair of headphones. These are the Sennheiser HD6XX. These are 300 ohms. These also would really like a headphone amplifier, but I actually don't have one at the moment. I had one a couple of years ago, but I couldn't actually afford to have it, so I like sold it. And I was gonna sell these too, but decided to hold on to them because I figured I would never buy like an open back fancy headphone like this again, probably. But since I have them now, I do want to get back into a headphone amp, so I'm gonna get one of those soon, probably. So for now, I just don't really listen to these that much because they don't sound that good out of my audio interface, but when they are properly amped, they sound kind of amazing, so I would like to have that going again. These are also obviously not the pads that came on the new Beyers. The new Beyers come with the like silvery plush velvet looking pads like all of them, but I saw these Valentine's edition pads from Daconi Audio, and I absolutely had to get them because they look amazing, and honestly they sound about as good as the regular ones, so definitely worth it. I really like these. They look really cool. And now down here under the desk, let me adjust my exposure. So this is where a lot of the audio magic happens. This thing is like low-key my pride and joy right here. First of all, I have this box, this bamboo 6-unit rack I got on Amazon. I paid probably way too much for it in terms of price to performance. I mean, you could get an ugly metal one for like $40, but this one looks so good. It's built amazingly, it will last forever, and it matches the bamboo tabletop, so I mean, you know. So the audio interface I'm running is the Behringer UMC 1820. This is just a rack-mountable interface that has 8 XLR inputs, so I figured I would just future-proof and get the one that has as many inputs as possible, just in case I ever wanted to run an 8-person podcast or something fucking stupid like that. And honestly, the price was right. I like the dual headphone outputs, and it sounds pretty good. The main thing, though, that makes it not really matter that this is just a cheap Behringer is this DBX 286S that I got. So this thing right here is a microphone preamp and effects strip, so I can do things like noise reduction, compression, and it just makes the SM7B sound really good. And honestly, this thing it's been around for a long time, but I really like it and really prefer using this versus doing stuff in software. So this is my Rain brand dual channel EQ strip. So this allows me to EQ my mic with a bunch of bands of controls for different frequencies. Honestly, I just kind of have this because one of my friends gave it to me for free out of their old like hi-fi setup, and it actually happens to work with microphones, so I just chucked it in the rack. And then on the bottom, I have the Furman M8X squared, whatever the hell they call it. It's basically just a rack mountable power strip. It has one outlet on the front, and it has like 8 power outlets on the back. So it's just it's a power conditioner because it removes noise or electrical interference or whatever. But honestly, it's just really convenient in the setup, and it was on sale at Guitar Center, so that's the main reason that I have it. Also, shout outs to Oatmeal. She's a very important part of the setup. She's trying to eat lint off the floor. Hello, excuse me, don't do that. Yeah, Oatmeal is a very important part of the setup. She kind of makes this whole thing go round. So this also right here is some random-ass Sony subwoofer that I got for less than $20 at a Habitat for Humanity store. And I just run this as if I want a subwoofer with my M Audio speakers up there, because I like bass. Bass is a fun sensation that makes my bones feel good. And this was so dirt cheap that I just decided to go for it. The way that I have this hooked up to my setup is so fucked up. It's like, honestly, really stupid, and anybody who's into audio will probably hate it, so that's a good reason to show it. So on the back of this thing right here, it just has one like single-ended input, which doesn't really work with my audio interface, which is currently my source for all my audio, and it doesn't really connect to the back of it. So what I had to do was get this single-ended RCA to dual RCA, and then I had to get an RCA to headphone jack cable, and then I run that into an adapter so that it fits in the second headphone port on my interface. But then if I want to use 2 headphones, I just unplug the subwoofer. It's really dumb. It is really dumb, but it makes funny wub sounds, and that's all I really need. Also, kind of under the desk / on the bottom of the desk, I mean, I have this cup holder right here that my wallet and keys are in right now, don't mind that. And then this is my cheap Chinese GameCube controller adapter that I use for running the GameCube controller on my PC. It was like $10 on Amazon, and it's just like double-sided taped to the bottom of the desk. And honestly, my cable management could be better, it could be worse. It's really not so bad. I mean, you don't see any of it unless you're on the floor down here, and I just have way too many wires running through the setup. But the main thing also I wanted to point out is my capture card is right here. This is just on the bottom of the desk. It's not duct taped to the desk, it is duct taped together, because one time I literally was not even using it or touching it or anything. I was just sitting at my desk like editing or whatever, and randomly it just like exploded under my desk, and the circuit board and the top of the shell just went all over the floor. So I plugged it in, it still worked, and I was like, well, I guess I'll just wrap it back up with tape and stick it back to the bottom of my desk, and that is what I have been using for all of the Brothership playthrough and anything else that's happened on Switch within the last like several months on my channel. On top of the audio rack, we also have some fun little trinkets. I have my Japanese Nintendo 64 copy of Mario 64. I haven't actually talked about the N64 on the desk, but you saw it, you probably know what it is. This goes with that. Yeah, one day I'll get more cartridges and fill out my N64 collection, but this is my only spare one for right now. Got some random fake cacti that have been floating around in my life forever. Got the main studio maintenance tool, and a couple extra lenses for my camera that I never use for YouTube stuff, but I use for some of my film school stuff. This little like cobalt tool chest thing is something that my dad saw on TikTok and he got me for Christmas, and honestly it's kind of adorable, so I'm really down. I think that's everything under the table. I think I can get off the floor now. My tripod's sitting right there. I hate that tripod. It sucks. Okay, back on top of the desk. Let's adjust the exposure down. So let's talk about my peripherals a little bit, I guess. I talked about the audio stuff, but I didn't actually talk about my keyboard or my mouse or anything like that. So this is the Keychron K2HE. HE stands for Hall effect. So pretty much every single key switch in this keyboard has a magnet that actuates the switch or not. So you're able to like determine exactly where you want it to register your press, and you can customize that for every key. But the main reason I got it is if you guys have seen on this channel before in the Mario Hamster Mode 2 video, I smashed my old keyboard on stream because people paid me to. So I decided with the money that people so generously donated to me, thanks again, I'm really like stoked about this keyboard. This keyboard is sick. I wanted to get the most reliable possible option so I never have to break my keyboard on stream again. Magnetic switches are supposed to last like forever. Keychron's a pretty good brand, and honestly I really like the feel of the Hall effect switches so far. I can't decide if I'll keep these transparent purple keycaps forever or not. They do look kind of sick. I had the whole thing transparent purple for a while, but it was a little too much, so I brought the black back in around. And then of course the best part of the setup are these little like screen printed Chrono Trigger keycaps that I got on Etsy. These are all the characters from Chrono Trigger and the Epoch, which is sick. This is like a pretty Chrono Trigger themed setup at the moment because I didn't see a single other Chrono Trigger setup online, so I figured I'd go for it. And on that note, let's actually show off the desk pad. There's the desk pad. It is the campfire scene from Chrono Trigger. I also found this on Etsy. It's way higher quality than I was expecting. It's honestly like a pretty good desk pad, and it's a sick design, and it's actually a pretty good print. Right here is my Logitech G Pro wireless. I have this funny like pink and black plaid skin on it, and it actually looks kind of cool. I should probably turn off the lighting for the mouse because you can kind of see it just shining through the skin right there, and it looks kind of weird, but I haven't bothered to go in the software and do that. But yeah, I got this thing refurbished on Amazon when my like old G502 died, and I've really liked it overall. I kind of wish I had more hotkeys. I do miss the macro keys on my G502, but it's really comfortable and really lightweight, and wireless is pretty nice. Here's the old GameCube controller. This is from the Wii U run of Smash-themed GameCube controllers. This is an official one, though. I'm pretty sure it was from Japan originally, but like GameCube controllers aren't region locked or anything, so it literally doesn't matter. But yeah, this is just an official GameCube controller. I've used it a bunch, and I kind of want to do like a cool modded one in the future, or maybe get like a cool rare one just for the swag. But this one works really good, and I like that it has a longer cable than the original GameCube controllers. Oh yeah, I guess I forgot to point out that this is an Elgato mic arm. It's pretty good. It's probably the best one I've ever had. This is my old mic arm, this cheap like Amazon one, and this one's also okay. It kind of broke here at some point, but I like fixed it with a screw and a nut, and it like kind of works now. Here, I haven't formally talked about the Nintendo 64 yet, but this is a actual Nintendo 64, just like a regular US spec one. It's not region unlocked at the moment, so I can only play my US copy of Super Mario 64, but I do have the part to open it up and region unlock it. I just was planning on doing that on a stream, and I haven't gotten around to it, so it's still just been sitting here. I have not been able to speedrun Mario 64 as much recently as I've wanted to, but I'll definitely get back into it at some point, and it looks pretty cool as like the little center spot on the desk. Okay, as far as camera lighting stuff goes, I have this little Logitech webcam. This is just like a C920. This is like the most basic universal Logitech webcam ever, and it was on a really good like Amazon Prime Day sale or whatever the hell, so I got it as like a spare stream camera. I have these GVM LED light panels. They're just my poor man's Elgato lights. Honestly, they work fine. I just turn them on and never mess with them, and it's not really a problem, so I don't really care to replace them. And they're pointed at the wall, so it can help diffuse the light so you don't get really harsh shadows on my face, because I know everyone really likes looking at my face. That's a pretty important part of the stream. And now here, let's do a little Trinket Tour. So this is my keycap slash key switch puller that kind of just sits around because I've been messing around with swapping in different keycaps from old keyboards before, like the spacebar. A couple random knives here. I'm really not like actually into knives, so don't judge me based on like knife enthusiast standards. This is some, I think this is this a Gerber? I think this is a Gerber. I stole this from my dad. It's kind of dull. It needs to be sharpened, but it looks kind of cool. This is a, what is this? Let's open it up. This is a Maxim. Also stole it from my dad. I don't know anything about it other than the fact that it's also not that sharp. This is an Opinel? Opinel? They're French. I'm probably not pronouncing it right, but this is like a little, it's like a folding pocket knife slash kitchen knife slash whatever. I've used this quite a bit. It's honestly just like a really cool, like timeless basic design, very inexpensive, and it has custom text printed in the side of it. This was a birthday gift at some point. This is a song lyric. Godspeed finding the song lyric. And then this right here is just a regular Opinel. It's the same knife, but without customization and with the cheaper wood finish, just because I literally wanted another one. We just got these like today. Lou got one as well, and yeah, I just like them. And the new one is very sharp. Not that you can like see on camera how sharp something actually is, but trust, it's very sharp. Okay, and then on to the friends. So this is my custom one-of-one Mario hamster. I bought a hamster plush on Amazon, and I bought a Mario plush on Amazon, and I took his hat and I took his mustache and made a Mario hamster. So yeah, I really like this thing. I think it's really funny, and I like just having him chill on my desk. This right here is a little like slot machine. I guess it's kind of a fidget. It's just it's very Trinket as far as trinkets go. But the backstory behind this is pretty funny. So my grandma has a gambling problem, and my dad got this for her as like a stocking stuffer several years ago. But then my parents forgot to put it in like the stocking thing that they gave her. So I took it. And now I have it. And I feel like with all the gambling jokes that happen on my channel, it's kind of fitting, and it's kind of just funny to say, oh yeah, this represents my grandma's gambling problem. Right here is a star from Mario Party and a matching star, like with a Z. My older sister crocheted these for me as a Christmas gift, and they're sick. And I love the deep cut Zdar reference. That's my controller for my N64. That's just tucked away when I'm not playing it. We have Kamek right here. I just put him on my desk because he was like on a shelf somewhere else in my apartment, and I got tired of him being there, so he's on my desk now. This is a crocheted Mario that Lou's grandma made for me a few years ago, and he's just a little guy, and he's sick. I have the DK bongos back there. I have a fan back there, but it's winter, so I don't use that fan, but that fan is my favorite fan that I've ever had because it's so quiet. I have used this fan during streams before, and nobody can tell. It's amazing. And then also I have the Xbox One controller. I think this is a series controller. It has like the grippiness on the back. Whatever it is, it's just a basic run-of-the-mill Xbox controller, and I only have it because it's the most compatible controller with Steam, but honestly, kind of a mid controller. So yeah, I think that pretty much sums it up. I think I talked about everything. I'll put those guys back after the video, or you know what, here for the final sweeping shot. I guess I'll put them back. So yeah, I think that covers the Bringle setup. It's still kind of a work in progress, but I think that's also just how being a nerd about your setup goes. I think it's always going to be a work in progress. Was there anything I didn't mention? Guess I didn't talk about the things on the wall. Here's my blank whiteboard that I finally cleaned this morning in preparation for filming this video. That is a shirt that is a reference to my old YouTube channel. And I kind of just have it here because I don't want to wear it, but I also don't want to get rid of it. Here's a little, I have a couple random like printed out pictures of my cats. My younger sister like printed these out for some assignment that she did, and my mom got like extra copies and gave them to me, and I was like, you know what, fuck it, I guess I'll pin them up. And all of those are on this custom acoustic panel. I have a few of these in my room. It's just a bunch of towels covered in a tablecloth with a wood frame. It works amazingly well and was really cheap, but I should probably get something more proper sometime in the future. But that's a problem for the future. That's not a problem for now. So, yeah, that pretty much wraps up the tour. I partially just wanted to document where it's at now because in like 6 months or so this summer, it's going to change quite a bit. Me and my roommates are going to try to move out of this apartment we're in into a house so I can actually have a dedicated stream room because I'm like trying to get serious with this stuff now. So hopefully my setup will have more space than just this corner in my bedroom. Like that's literally, this is my closet right here. That's my vintage map of Ohio. Shout outs to that. So yeah, I would love more space. My bed is right there. My bed is constantly within like less than 2 feet of me when I'm streaming. It's kind of annoying. But you gotta make do with the space you have and the stuff you have, and I'm not bitter about it, but I would like more space. Also, I think I forgot to cover what the camera itself actually is. I'm filming on it right now. It's my Sony a6700. It kind of checked all my boxes for being good for my film school stuff, being good for photography, and being good for YouTube. And honestly, it's the best camera I've ever owned. Great camera.